The bell rings and the crowd explodes. Nobody wants to hear. Sometimes the loudest cheers are paid for with broken bones, stolen years, and bodies that never truly heal. Tonight isn't about championships. Tonight is about the price of wrestling too long. And the men who paid it in full while the world kept chanting one more match. Let's start with a truth WWE never likes to headline. The industry rewards pain. It celebrates sacrifice. And it convinces legends that quitting is the same as failing. That mindset doesn't just shorten careers, it destroys bodies piece by piece, long after the cameras stop rolling. Mick Foley is the perfect example of a man whose heart was bigger than his limits. He wasn't built like a superhero, but he wrestled like an immortal. Every fall, every crash, every brutal impact was treated like a badge of honor. But honors don't fix hips that barely work. They don't erase nerve damage. They don't make walking painless. Foley didn't just wrestle through pain, he normalized it. And by the time the world realized how much damage he'd done, the damage was already permanent. He gave fans memories that will never die. While his body aged decades faster than it should have. Then there's Kurt Angle, the definition of toughness taken too far. Olympic-level intensity inside a business that already pushes people past human limits. Broken neck? Keep going. Chronic pain? Work through it. Addiction creeping in as a way to survive the grind? Ignore it and lace the boots tighter. Angle's body became a battlefield where painkillers replaced rest and surgeries replaced recovery. His greatness was undeniable, but so was the cost. Wrestling didn't just test his limits, it erased them completely. Now let's talk about presence. Aura. Longevity turned into obsession. The Undertaker didn't just stay too long, he carried an entire era on his back until that back began to fail him. Knees rebuilt. Hips replaced. Shoulders barely holding together. Every entrance felt legendary, but behind the curtain, the toll was brutal. The pressure to protect a legacy can be just as destructive as chasing a paycheck. Fans wanted the myth forever. The body couldn't keep up. And that silent struggle became heavier with every passing year. Triple H represents a different kind of damage, the kind that comes from never slowing down. Physique pushed to extremes. Schedules stacked. Responsibility on screen and off screen. Wrestling through injuries because leadership demanded strength, not weakness. His body held together for years through discipline and drive, but eventually even the strongest engine breaks down. When health issues finally forced reality to step in, it wasn't weakness, it was survival. A reminder that no amount of control can outwork time. And then there's Jeff Hardy, a man whose style was poetry and punishment at the same time. Every leap was breathtaking. Every landing was brutal. His body absorbed impacts that shortened careers and changed lives. Pain became normal. Recovery became temporary. The wear and tear didn't just affect muscles and bones, it affected the mind. Wrestling too long doesn't just damage the body, it blurs judgment, blunts healing, and traps people in cycles they can't escape alone. Here's the uncomfortable criticism WWE rarely confronts honestly: the system rewards endurance over health. Legends are celebrated for pushing through when they should be encouraged to step away. Fans chant for returns without asking what it costs. Nostalgia becomes a drug, and the body is the collateral damage. These men didn't fail themselves. They believed in the promise that sacrifice equals immortality. But immortality only exists on highlight reels. Real life is lived in pain clinics, physical therapy rooms, and quiet mornings when standing up hurts more than any match ever did. Wrestling too long isn't bravery. Sometimes it's fear, fear of being forgotten, fear of losing purpose, fear of silence after the applause fades. And the tragedy is that the same fans who cheer the loudest are often the last to forgive retirement. So when we talk about greatness, let's expand the definition. Greatness isn't just how much pain you can endure. It's knowing when to stop before the damage becomes irreversible. It's protecting the future version of yourself who still has to live after the music stops. Because the ring remembers everything. Every fall. Every impact. Every night someone chose passion over preservation. And while the crowd moves on to the next moment, the body keeps the score forever. And now, let it slow down. Because this is the part that actually matters. Long after the lights shut off, long after the chants dissolve into silence, the real fight begins. Not in front of millions. Not under bright spotlights. But in quiet rooms, stiff mornings, sleepless nights, and bodies that refuse to cooperate. The crowd never sees that part. The industry rarely talks about it. But it's there, waiting, every single time someone chooses just one more match. The applause is addictive. It convinces people that pain is temporary and glory is forever. But glory fades fast. Pain doesn't. Pain follows you home. Pain sits with you when the adrenaline is gone. Pain becomes your alarm clock, your shadow, your reminder that the ring never forgets what you give to it. There's a lie woven deep into this business, that stopping means quitting, that rest means weakness, that stepping away erases everything you built. But the truth is harsher and quieter. Walking away too late doesn't protect a legacy. It traps it inside a broken body. It turns memories into regrets and victories into what-ifs. Fans love endurance. They celebrate sacrifice. They chant for comebacks without realizing that comebacks demand payment. And that payment is always collected in the same currency, health. Bones don't care about nostalgia. Nerves don't respond to crowd reactions. Time doesn't pause because a moment feels legendary. What hurts the most isn't the damage itself, it's the normalized ion of it. The way suffering is framed as honor. The way lasting injuries are treated like proof of commitment. The way silence replaces honest conversations about when enough is enough. Because the most dangerous opponent in this industry isn't in the ring, it's the belief that your value disappears when you stop performing. The ring gives you purpose, identity, and belonging. But it also takes pieces of you quietly, year after year, match after match. And one day you realize the ovation is gone, the schedule has moved on, and you're left negotiating with a body that no longer listens. And let it go even deeper. Because this ending isn't supposed to feel comfortable. When everything is over, when the ring is empty and the noise finally dies, what's left isn't fame or highlights, it's reality. It's the body you wake up in every morning. It's the stiffness that never fully leaves. It's the reminders hidden in every step, every breath, every quiet moment where the adrenaline no longer masks the damage. The world remembers the spectacle. The body remembers the truth. The cruel part is how slowly it happens. Not all at once. Not in one dramatic collapse. But inch by inch, year by year, match by match. Damage stacks quietly while the cheers get louder. And by the time the warning signs are impossible to ignore, the idea of stopping feels more terrifying than the pain itself. Because this business doesn't just give you a career, it gives you an identity. It teaches you that you are only as valuable as your last performance. That if you slow down, someone else will take your place. That the moment you step away, the world will move on without you. And that fear keeps people walking into the fire long after their bodies are begging for mercy. The audience never sees the aftermath. They don't see the nights spent staring at the ceiling because sleep won't come. They don't see the hands that shake, the joints that lock, the simple movements that feel like battles. They don't see how the passion that once felt empowering slowly turns into a cage. What makes this tragedy even heavier is that it's applauded. Pain is romanticized. Suffering is rewarded. Endurance is framed as greatness. And anyone who chooses preservation over punishment is quietly judged for not giving enough. But giving everything isn't noble when it leaves nothing behind. Legacy isn't built by how much you bleed. It's built by what you leave intact. By the lessons learned. By the standard you set for those who come next. A true legend changes the culture, not just their own pain tolerance. This industry must confront an uncomfortable truth: longevity without health is not victory. It's survival at best, sacrifice at worst. The ring will always ask for more. The crowd will always want one final moment. But the body has limits, and those limits are not weaknesses. They are warnings. There is courage in choosing life beyond the spotlight. Courage in admitting that no reaction is worth permanent damage. Courage in protecting the future version of yourself who still deserves peace, movement, and dignity. This is not about blaming passion. Passion is beautiful. Passion creates legends. But unchecked passion can become self-destruction, especially in a world that rewards you for ignoring pain instead of respecting it. The greatest lesson isn't how long someone lasted, it's what they lost along the way. The missed moments. The permanent injuries. The future comfort traded for temporary applause. These are the costs nobody puts on a highlight package. If this industry truly honors its heroes, it must learn to celebrate the exit as much as the entrance. To respect the decision to stop before the damage becomes a life sentence. To teach that survival is not cowardice, and preservation is not failure. Because when the music fades, when the ring stands empty, when the cheers become distant echoes, there is still a life left to live. And no legacy is worth spending that life in constant pain. Remember this: the loudest moments are short, but the consequences are forever. And real greatness isn't defined by how much of yourself you destroy. It's defined by having the courage to walk away while you still can.